guys, welcome to another video. Had a few days off, just going back and forth with this Raptor situation, and I really did want to make a video to properly update you guys what's been happening. Obviously, I did brush on the fact that I did get the car back, obviously, and then I had an issue with, well, they put the new head on the motor, then had an issue with injectors, and it went back again. In between those points, I'd alluded to forward that enough's enough, you know, with all the issues I'd had, you know, and under consumer law in Australia, when we're absolutely entitled to a new vehicle with the amount of issues that this has had. So I made the request for a new vehicle. That request was approved pretty much immediately. Obviously, you know, the issues that I've had, there was no sustenance as far as they couldn't blame me for them. So they went ahead and have approved a replacement. They initially approved the replacement with zero, like I lose all my modifications, you know, and I've put probably nearly, well, I worked it out, it was just shy of 20k into this car. It's, you know, bull bar, winch, snorkel, all your normal-ish sort of stuff, all my bar work, wheels and tires, front suspension lift, lighting, all that sort of stuff, including label, was just under 20k. Window tint was another one. Initially they were like flat out, no, you lose all your mods because they weren't fitted at a Ford dealership. Obviously I was less than happy with that. So a lot of back and forth, and now they've come back with they are going to pay me out for most of my mods. I would say most, but they're missing out on two significant mods, which are my wheels and tires and the rock sliders. So anyway, they are replacing it. So I'm going from the positives are I'm going from a 2019 to 0.75 to a 2021 75. So literally I'm getting a car that's 2 years newer and obviously 0 kilometers versus my one that now has 55,000 kilometers, well, 59,000 kilometers now, and you know, and it's a 2019 7.5. So positives are I'm getting a new car. My warranty will actually start again from 0, so I'll have a 5-year warranty again. Yeah, and they're paying me out for 13,000 something of my mods. It ends up being like 15,000 when you include GST. So I'm missing out on 5k's worth of mods, which are the wheels and tires and the rock sliders. So and there was things I didn't add in, like unfortunately I didn't add in the window tint, where, you know, because I intended to keep this car for a long time, I went out and I got like the top of the line stuff. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was, you know, say I think it was about 600 bucks or something like that. There was some ceramic blah 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 tint, you know, the bee's knees tint. So I think it's like tint, wheels, and my rock sliders. So the positives are, I guess from a YouTuber sense, I get to essentially build the car again. So that will be, in a sense, fun, and there will be some stuff that's fun and others that are going to be extremely frustrating. As you guys, if you've been following the Raptor build, I ordered a front locker probably 8 months ago, and it literally just came in. The guys rang me up and said, yep, the front locker's finally in, and they, mind you, they promised me like months in advance it would be. We're in a situation now where I had to tell them, obviously, no point putting it in this one, it's getting replaced. So I did get that front locker, but the big problem now is everything's on back order. Like, I'm talking, you know, not these particular wheels, but there's another set of wheels which, you know, if I had to get new wheels, these are the wheels I wanted. And they're talking 4-month wait. You know, same things with, like, when I originally got these rock sliders, it took like, I think 2 or 3 months to get the rock sliders because of back orders and whatnot, you know. So I guess the frustrating part is now we have to start this process again, where it'll take me, I think, you know, it could take me up to a year to potentially get the new Raptor to where this one's at, as far as, you know, the modifications and you know, other than mechanicals, like literally the Ford mechanicals letting me down on this vehicle, it was like ready to go for any trip you know, from a point of view of the modifications and all that sort of jazz, having the, you know, the battery system set up in there, you know, with the cable running to the back, having the airbags for my camper trailer, you know, snorkel for deep water crossings, the 35s, you know, and rear lock obviously get you through pretty much anywhere. Had the CB, everything was set up. You know, I was pretty close, pretty much done with the car, to be honest. You know, it was only like little, you know, maybe doing a little bit more something with like the tray area that I wanted to do, but the car was pretty much complete to me. So yeah, positives are we get to do it again, and maybe there's some things I'll change. Like, I think this time around I'll definitely go a bigger lift, because in this one I only went a 2-inch, not even a 2-inch front, and I didn't touch the rear at all, where I think this time around I'll probably go higher in the front and a lift in the rear, just to get overall just the center of the car a bit higher, because in these cars the fuel tanks do hang quite low. I have to get new rock sliders. There is a small part of the rock sliders I'll change, and I think I had the same issue in my, because I had a BT50 before this car, so I had an issue where all these new cars, there's only so many parts that they can join to the chassis with a bolt-on rock slider, and then the end of it is quite long, and if you drop into something, it has a tendency to bend up and hit the bottom of your front quarter panels, and that's happened on both sides of this car. If anything, if I get some new rock sliders done, well, when I get new rock sliders done for the new car, I'm probably going to have the rock sliders dip down at the end to allow more flex room for them to bend up, and hopefully at that point not be touching the body of the car. That's probably the whole point, you know, with that sort of situation there. So there's things like that I'll do differently. As far as a fuel tank bash plate, I'm probably going to get something custom done, because everything off the shelf is only like 3mm. You need to go at least 5mm and have stronger bracketing than anything else that comes out on the market. So I'm going to be working with the guys from Bay House to get that happening. Bull bar, I've been very happy with. What's up, Chicky? All right, kid break. So the off-road animal bull bar, I'm pretty happy with. However, there's a new bull bar on the market that I had been spying. It's a very similar design to this, but it's actually doesn't stick out as far, which I definitely want to look at. I did consider the fact of not going a bull bar at all, but then I looked at pictures before and after with my bull bar, and you have to go. The bull bar makes them look so much more aggressive. Obviously the added protection is fantastic as well, but they look so much more aggressive and cooler with this front bumper, and the approach angle is better. Same with rear bar. Rear bar I think I'll definitely get, because any of you guys that watch my vlogs a lot know that I'm not the best guy at reversing in the world, so I'll definitely do a rear bar again, and that is an off-road animal rear bar. I'm extremely happy with that rear bar. I was doing Big Red with this car, and I literally backed straight into the ground, and I'm sure like the entire weight of the vehicle was on the rear bar, and it almost lifted the front tires off the ground, only resting on the rear bar pretty much. And the rear bar absolutely held up fantastic, so I can't say enough for those guys. I'll definitely be ordering another one of those rear bars. Rock sliders with that slight modification, so hopefully a rock slider company will be able to work with me on that to get what I want, or alternatively, if there's a rock slider company that somehow got mounts that go further up the chassis somehow on one of these later model trucks, would be obviously better. Super happy with the GME, the CB. I only recently got that before all this went down. I probably won't go airbags again, if I'm honest, based on the fact that the reason I got the airbags more than anything was for my camper trailer and for camping trips with the camper trailer. Since doing the Cape trip, I would probably never drag a camper trailer again on tough tracks, or reasonably tough tracks. It's just not really worth the hassle. I think they're a fantastic base as far as, you know, if you're going somewhere, having a base camp setup, they're fantastic. And when I do the Cape next, I will take the camper trailer, but I'll take it as far as Bramwell Station, and then from Bramwell Station north, swagging it, because the creature comforts that the trailer gives you isn't worth the mental strain, the damage caused, and everything else while doing the fun tracks. It takes a lot of the fun away from the track. So that's something I would say, like, straight off, you know, I won't be airbagging this one. Airbags aren't necessary for my car trailers and stuff, because I just load my trailer accordingly. So the trailer's weight is, you know, 100, 150 kilos on the tow bar, you know, which moving the car out on the trailer, I can make that happen, and that's never been a drama. So airbags I won't do again, and honestly couldn't really recommend them as such to anyone, unless you're doing, you know, I guess if you're towing a work trailer around every day where you can't move the weight to where you want it, but it's like, it kind of ruins the daily drive of the car. You know, even when I put like basically no air in the airbags, it still makes the back of the car bouncier, or bouncy, versus, you know, when the airbags weren't in there, the car just rode so nice. So, you know, for me personally, I think the negatives outweigh the positives in that situation, and realistically, I barely, you know what I mean, I obviously do tow my caravan, but it's not enough to make everyday driving crappy. These tyres, Kenda Kiva, absolute pumped on them. I'll definitely be getting those again. So yeah, I guess I have to get a new set now, because they won't let me keep these. And actually, that's probably what I wanted to talk about, which I didn't mention earlier, is they're not paying me out for my side steps or my wheels and tyres, because they have deemed that they're illegal. But they also won't let me keep them, as they said that's part of their evaluation of cost, which really doesn't make any sense. If they're saying that they won't pay me out, they're insinuating that their value is nothing. And I even offered the dealership, I said to the dealership, if I get stock Raptor wheels and put them back on this car, no, you have to leave it as is. So I feel like it is a, how do I say, honestly, I feel like it's a bit of a spite thing, maybe from the dealership. I don't know what's going on, but their reasonings for keeping my wheels and side steps are absolutely ridiculous. You know, their admission, or they're saying that it's worth nothing, but at the same time won't let me keep them. So that's super tough. You know, and honestly, I had a fairly decent argument with the person from Ford Australia on the phone, saying, how does this make any sense to anybody? Like, if you guys are valuing it at 0, why can't I keep it? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Why can't I just keep the side steps? They're not a step where you use to get in the car. They're sheerly, like, their only purpose on the car is to protect it from rocks and from stuff when you're actually off-roading. So if I was to take them off the car, that wouldn't actually lower the price for Ford, because they actually told me they can't sell it with the rock sliders on it. They can't sell it with these wheels and tyres, but again, won't allow me to take them. So that is like just I don't know, I guess their last little like jab at me, I guess. I don't know. It feels that way, you know, and it's a frustrating situation from someone that loves the Raptor platform so much. You know, it's going to be, I really hope another manufacturer like Toyota or somebody brings out something to compete with this car that has some better backing. You know, unfortunately, you know, there was so many oversights and so many frustrating situations in this whole thing that could have been hugely avoided. You know, I think I would have been a much happier customer if, when I initially had the transfer case issue, it was just dealt with, rather than blaming the car being jumped on a transfer case issue, and then dragging it on for over a year. You know, over 30,000 kilometers I had to use this car with a faulty transfer case. So, you know, that's a situation that could have been massively avoided. You know, servicing issues where they didn't complete the service I paid for. Another one, when the steering wheel was replaced, they didn't tighten the steering wheel up, and there wasn't even really a sorry. You know, they were sort of like, oh, that's bad. You know, there wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, we potentially put your entire, you know, family in danger. It was more just like, oh, okay, we'll fix that. And then they told me they checked it and they hadn't. So that was, yeah, a frustrating, again, another just frustrating situation that could be very easily avoided by good customer service. So yeah, time will tell if, you know, I end up, you know, I'm excited to get this new one, and I hope my experiences going forward will be a lot better. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's one of the reliable ones. I have a ton of friends with Raptors that are perfectly reliable and they haven't had any dramas, so that is what I'm hoping for my new one. And you know, let's see, I guess, what happens when a new Raptor comes out, or, you know, which is something I'm hoping other manufacturers will sort of step up to the plate and realize there's a market for, you know, a sports truck like this, you know, one that is extremely capable off-road. You know, for the aftermarket, you need very little to make it a monster. Yeah, just someone with some more backing. Like, I would love to see a, you know, Toyota bring out their own version, you know, all of them, Toyota, Mitsubishi, you know, well, there is no Holden anymore, but, you know, all of the, even Isuzu, you know, to bring out something on par with this, you know, the amazing seats, the amazing suspension, and all that sort of stuff. You know, I think that'll be super rad. I'd love to see this segment, like, not just be owned by Ford, you know what I mean? I'd love to see it open up and have a choice of what sort of tough truck, I guess, like the States, where realistically your only option in the States for a long time, if you wanted something, you know, crazy, was a F-150 Raptor, where now you've got the TRX, which really livens up that, like, that market, and now people have a choice. And not only did you know, the TRX come out and was better, but it's forced Ford to make the F-150 Raptor better, and, you know, things like that. You know, it's healthy competition that only makes it better for the consumers, which is us, on the other end. So hopefully in Australia we can see more brands come out with something like this. And I haven't even seen anything leaked. I really wish they would, you know. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. That is the update of what's happening with the Raptor. Should have my new one end of October, early November, they're saying. I'm gonna wait until I do the paperwork. Should hopefully be early next week, and from that point I'll then be able to start ordering the new parts, you know, with confidently knowing what's happening going forward. So I've already got the front locker there, so when the new one comes, the very first modification it's going to get is a front locker. So that's going to be crazy. I'm going to have a dead stock Raptor Ranger with a front locker, so I'll let you guys know how all that goes, because I want to try it this time around. Let's do every mod and then see how it works, you know what I mean? So we'll go out, you know, I'll find a track. I know of a few tracks. We'll find a track somewhere where I can back to back, you know, compare the before and after modifications. So first up will be a front locker. We'll be able to take it out and obviously see how far that gets us, and then we'll likely, what are you doing? We'll likely go for a lift at that point, and then wheels and tires, and then get onto everything else. But hopefully we can order it all and get it happening sooner rather than later. Yeah, keep posted on the vlogs, guys. Fingers crossed it's end of October and not early November. The sooner the better, so we can get going on it. And yeah, unfortunately at some point soon it will be bye-bye for this Raptor, but we'll definitely get a few more videos with this Raptor first. We've had a hell of a lot of rain today. We're due for a hell of a lot more rain tomorrow. I'm pretty keen to get this out on the tracks and go for a wheel. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Check out my store, lukefink.com, if you want to support the channel. We'll be back with some more drifting and car modification stuff very soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.